How's it going, everyone? On today's video, I'm going to be discussing some of the benefits of joining the British Army. Two key components, and I'm going to sort of break them down into the sort of like mini components that sort of fall within that bracket, and they are going to be health and fitness and financial. But the first thing we're going to be talking about then is fitness. But most units have really good high quality gyms. I'm speaking for myself, who's with the Royal Irish Regiment. Our gym is like in an old sort of aircraft hangar that's all insulated, has a five-a-side football pitch in there, but then all the equipment is the most brand newest equipment, and it's all functional stuff. So cross trainers, just stacks and stacks and stacks of pull-up bars, with squat racks, everything you can expect of. If you've got any sort of experience around CrossFit gyms, that kind of functional stuff, that's all there. Now there is still sort of your kind of like bodybuilding style kind of hypertrophy equipment there, as in the resistance machines, but the functional style of stuff is there. And I personally have never paid for a gym membership, so I'm kind of out of touch on how much that costs, but I want to spit it out there. Could it be like, maybe, I know Fitness First and some cheaper ones could potentially be like 20 to 30 quid a month, I'm not sure, but then it starts to step up with regards to are you getting a personal trainer? Are you joining classes? All the rest of it. And what you will find within the army is quite a lot of these people, you've got PTIs, so they are basically like personal trainers, like the military aspect of it. So you've got education there, but you've also got nowadays, like I did say, about people taking it on their own accord now to really be invested in their health and fitness. You're never lost in an army gym to find someone who has got either experience or knowledge in the fitness aspect of it to try and get you to your goals. And then that's like free information, and then you've got all the kit and equipment there. Most of these gyms, I know ours is key coded, so it's 24/7. So even people who are there, they're staying over leave, they've got access to the gym. If they're away, if they're on shift work, that kind of stuff, they've got access to the gym on out of antisocial hours and all the rest of it. So the equipment is there, and it's rife there, and it's very high quality equipment, and that to me is the key thing. And another key thing is time. You need to be fit for the job, so the time is allocated on the day where fitness is there, and that is the culture aspect of it. So it becomes a habit, because you're in and around people who like to do health and fitness because they have to do it for the job, but they're invested in it, and then you start to get embedded within that community. So if you're not someone who's always done fitness and sort of really standardized training, as in physical training, before you join the military, you will start to meet people who are, and then you will then develop that habit and then continue that throughout your lifetime. And that's only going to have positive effects on your sort of physical aspects and your sort of mental aspects of it as well. So you've got that time there, because you may have people out in Civvy Street who aren't joining the forces and all the rest of it, who have the finances to fund the gym, and they pay their membership, but then what they might struggle with then is the time, because their corporate job, or maybe they're a tradesperson, or whatever it may be, it's not in the contract to be physically fit, so they're having to trying to get their fitness regime or their training sessions in and around that sort of life. Whereas in the military, you've got that time there, and it's pushed upon you to do it. And for some people, that's gold dust. It's been given that time during the working day to then really hone in on your sort of your fitness stuff. And another aspect is injury. If you get injured in the forces, now I'm not talking about in combat and all the rest of it, but like your sort of musculoskeletal injuries, break arms, all sprained, like all that kind of stuff there. If you were to be on for an example, you're in a corporate job, or you're trades, or you run your own business, that can be quite of an anxiety, because then if you're injured and your job is a physical job, you then can't turn up to do your work. Whereas in the army, when that happens to you, you're still getting paid your full wage, so there's nothing happens to your wage, but also you now have a physiotherapist and the med chain then to get you back in. Whereas if you were out in Civvy Street, you may have to go, if you're waiting on the NHS, it's probably going to take a little bit more time. But then if you have the money, then obviously you're going to have to go out and buy, purchase that sort of physical therapy session, and then go through that. And then anyone who's been through it, which I have been through, like physical therapy, that's not just like see one person one time that you nipped. It is a bit of a process there to get you back in, so the cost could add up quite considerably. So they have them in the military, and a lot of people, and that's only, and me included, you were only really going anywhere near a physiotherapist whenever there was something wrong. But if you start to feel a niggle, you can then seek out the physiotherapist and then ask them to maybe look at your form on how you're lifting or how you're running. And so then you can actually then caveat any sort of future injuries, because you can kind of like nip a problem before it becomes into a bigger problem, i.e. you become sort of physically injured or you can't do your job. So you can tap into that knowledge and stuff while you're not injured. So it's just really, in that aspect, you're not going to get that anywhere sort of else, regards to for free and that access to do your job. So that's a big one. So that's health and fitness, and I suppose it's a big thing. You all know you have to be fit to be a soldier, and for some people it might be quite apparent. I'm going to have to do it, but I just want to break that down a little bit more, so you just really actually understand that it's the, you know, no gym membership, all high quality fitness training equipment and the environment to train in, and then obviously that aftercare as well with the physios and all the rest of it. So there's a whole big package there, and the knowledge to get you up and running. And most people, once they've served for a considerable amount of time, then because you're doing it every day, then you become to because you're invested in your health and fitness, you then start to learn about it, and then you can actually start to work out how to plan to get your body into a certain scenario, whether it's endurance, strength, flexibility, all the rest. So you then start to become knowledgeable in that, and then you can actually sort of train in a specific way to attack a certain problem, whether it be a course, an event, or whatever it may be. So that's health and fitness.
Last one. Well, that definitely wasn't meant to happen. J Primus with the prescribed medication.
The next thing is finances. Now, I'm no financial expert whatsoever, but if you have the time in the military after work to then go away and do your own research, learn how to, you know, what's good investments, what's good to trade and all the rest of it. And then you can really, if you're really smart about it, budget your own money, as in budget your money for, okay, this is how much money off my wage I need to feed myself this month. Maybe allow myself to maybe go out and drink this weekend, but don't do it every single weekend out in the booze. Do not flipping piss your money up on the wall. I am telling you this right now. This is coming from experience. That's what I did, and I'm kicking myself now when I look back about all the operational tours I'd done, all the big massive injects of cash I had. Like Afghanistan, the very first time I went to Afghanistan was in 2008. I came back, I was 19 years old, and I think I had about 20 grand lump sum sitting there. I had no girlfriend, no wife, no responsibilities, nothing. People would argue, okay, we had a good experience. Yes, but at the same time, I look back now, 2008 was the flipping crash, the housing crash. If I had thrown that all into a house right then, and I didn't even have to live in it, I could have rented it out and all the rest of it, and people did do it, and then now they're reaping the rewards of that. So that's the whole point of this, is be smart with your money while you're in service. And I'm not going to go into a video. I'm just going to show you a quick screen here of a guy who does. So this is a YouTube channel over on YouTube, quite clearly, called the Savvy Squatty. I think he's currently serving, and it's like an automated sort of, like, you don't physically see him. He uses all this sort of cartoon character. That's his brand. But like, this YouTube channel is an absolute wealth of knowledge for anyone who's serving, specifically in the British Army. He goes through everything in regards to tax, how to get on the property ladder using Army's money. He explains your pensions to a very good simplistic way, because the pensions do get explained to you, but it's like in a black and white document that gets emailed to you. And I've very rarely had like a brief on what my pension's going to look like. It's only if you actually go delving looking for the answer, you really get it. And any briefs I've had, it's some person contradicts another person. I'm still left confused. Where this uses lots of, videos and very sort of easy to understand information. There's also other stuff down there regards to your pay. There's other investment stuff, but he also does stress the need where he is not a financial advisor, but he does talk about different sort of trading things that you can do, different sort of accounts to invest in, all the rest of it. That I highly recommend that YouTube channel. So it's the Savvy Squatty. If you're not following it, jump across there, subscribe to it. How much does he put videos out? So 3 days ago, 2 weeks. So yeah, so he's still quite regular with the videos. But I do feel like there's a lot more information out there. There's a lot more education out there to really help you do the most of your money. And I have seen a lot of platoon commanders, from my experience in my sort of area, where they've spoken to people within the platoon and give kind of help them as to talk about money and how to manage your money correctly and all the rest. But it would 100% is there. You've got the environment to do it, and you've got the wage, and if you've just got a little bit of head on you to be able to budget and all the rest of it, you can do it, and genuinely you can actually get out and have a really good sort of financial foundation for whenever you get out. And that doesn't need to be just for people who are getting out doing their full career. If you're quite head smart about it, you can, do a sort of half sort of career and still have a decent one. I knew a guy, whenever I was serving, I'll not name his name because he's out now, but he didn't drink alcohol or nothing, and he literally limited himself to £400 a month for food, so £100 a week, and the rest just completely saved. And I reckon, and then did he do both tours? I think he done both them Afghan tours, and then both of them money. So whenever you go on tour, you're not spending any money, because imagine now you're a person where you've got no family, no responsibilities, all the rest of it. This is just me going to completely pull a number out my ass. You might get more nowadays. Say you get paid £1,500 a month. When you're in operations, that £1,500 a month is going into your bank account. If the only thing you have is like a car insurance and like maybe a mobile phone bill, that's all that's coming out of that. So say for an example, that's like 200 quid. So there's like 1,300 quid there is just dropping into your bank account, and it's not getting touched because you're eating rations and you're living away, so there's no requirement for the money. So that's now building up. You also get paid extra every day for being in them operations, a thing called LSA. Is it long-term service allowance or separation allowance? I can't remember what it is. That varies in how much that is. So that's building on top. So that money is increasing, but then once you come back from the operation, I think as it stands now, if it's a 6-month operation, it's like a 5.5-ish grand up lump sum goes on top of that. So that's a considerable chunk of money there. And then when that guy I was talking about, whenever we were in camp, he was only spending about £400 to £500 a month for food and the necessities. Everything else comes into saving. That he only done 5 years, and I think he left them with like 60 grand, 60, 70 grand, but he was very, very head smart. So that little example there is for for anyone who's maybe wanting to come in and do the minimum term. That's not easy. You have to be mature about it, and you have to be head smart to do it that way. But the army provides a really good environment for you to do that, and that's I can give the best advice to anyone who's joining, because I've went the wrong way in regards to my financial sort of situations and live like the party animal I was back in the day, and have nothing to show for that kind of money. So I definitely would urge you to jump onto that sort of that channel there, the Savvy Squatty, and get amongst that. Specifically, if you're in there now and you're a private soldier, junior NCO, get amongst this YouTube channel there and just learn, get head smart, learn all you need to do, and then put your money to good use. Yes, so there we go. That's the benefits there of joining the army. A couple of things there, obviously, with regards to physical fitness and the financial side of things. And you could argue that's the stuff that it's home, when you're ever at home and you're not deployed overseas and all the rest of it, and the benefits that you can make the army work for you. Thank you very much for joining me. If you got something from this video, please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. If you've got any ideas or what you want to see come onto the channel next, let's engage in that comment section. Let me know what you want to see, and we'll look at getting that onto the channel itself. If you're new here, thanks very much for joining me. This channel is all things military. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, and that will keep you up to date on any future sort of videos that get published with this consistency that we've now hopefully met, and I will hopefully keep the whole consistent video uploads. Thank you very much for joining me. My name's Luke, and I'll see you again on the next video. See you in a bit.